Wait another minute or two just to make sure people weren't going to log on right at 4 o'clock. While you guys are waiting, I just wanted to let you know that in Yin, if you haven't, I'll explain more about Yin later, but we use a lot of props. And so what you will really use that we have around the house will be just a couple of like blankets or towels. You can use either one, but if you have a minute to just quickly run and get a couple of towels or a blanket or two, it might be really helpful. You don't have to have any props to do Yin, but it does just add that little piece of comfort. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. Also, some pillows. In Yin class, we use bolsters, but here, pillows will do, bed pillows, pillows off. These are off of my couch. So anything like that you can use as a bigger kind of cushion, we'll have an option to use here coming up. Again, you don't need anything, but if you want to just add that little extra cushy comfort, grabbing a couple of pillows and a couple of blankets or towels is probably a great option. And I'll tell you all about how to use those coming up. All right, and I think it's right at 4 o'clock. So again, Lindsay, Catherine, Kayla, I'm so glad you're here. I'm sure we have a couple of other people on too, I see. So thank you so much. I did want to just start by letting you guys know what Yin is, because it is a different type of yoga. Most of the yoga that we think about is the Yang yoga. So Yin is actually the yin of yin and yang, or yin and yang, as we say. And Yang yoga is the yoga most people think of when they think of yoga. I think it's the more energetic yoga. You're using your muscles, you're really engaging everything. And so in Yin, we get to do the opposite of that, which is to really relax our muscles and to relax our minds and really just be present on our mat. So it is very relaxing. It is very comforting to the body. There's a lot of release that goes on in the body. And it's also very relaxing in the mind. So this is a practice that I hope you guys will find just comforting and relaxing during this time. And to begin, I always usually start my Yin sessions with just a little meditation and just getting ourselves grounded on our mats. So for the best comfort, I like to suggest that you put either a pillow or a rolled up blanket. You can roll up a blanket into like a tube and sit on it, or even a pillow and just put it underneath your sit bones. And sit up tall. So the more we can get our hips up above our knees, the more pressure that we take off our lower back and the more comfort we give to our lower back. And so find a way to just kind of sit up and root into your sit bones. Just imagine as if there were roots growing out of your legs and your seat and just firming you and grounding you into the earth. And sit up tall, lengthen through your spine, lengthen through the crown of your head upward. And since we're working on grounding, I invite you to just place your palms either on your knees or your thighs, palm down here. That's a grounding mudra. That's a message to your body that we're going to come to a grounding mind here. And I invite you to either close your eyes part ways, maybe glance down in front of you even on your mat, or if you feel safe enough to just close your eyes completely here. And just bring your attention in this moment to yourself, just sitting on the floor. And just become curious of what's going on in your body. And just become curious of any thoughts that are there in your mind without judgment. There are no good or bad thoughts. They're just thoughts. And just accept those thoughts. And then from there, bring your attention to your breath. Just keep your breath natural. There's no reason to force anything. Just notice what your breath feels like when you inhale it in. How your belly fills. How your ribs expand. And then as you exhale, how you melt and soften. And let's take 3 deep breaths together just to really bring our attention to our breath. So exhale all of your air out. And then inhale through your nose, fill up. Deep, fill your ribs. Hold it for a moment. And then open your mouth and sigh it out all the way. And again, inhale, fill up your belly, your ribs. Hold that breath. Feel open. And then open your mouth and let it all go. And one final breath. This time, the biggest you've taken. Fill up your belly, your ribs, all the way to your collarbone. And then open your mouth and just let everything go. Let your shoulders melt down your back. Soften your neck. Seal your lips and just breathe naturally. Throughout our practice, thoughts may come and go, but I invite you to, as those thoughts come, accept them again, don't fight them. But then bring your attention back to your breath. Our breath can center us, and on every exhale, you can allow those thoughts to just grow a little farther away from you and come back to your inhale. And just notice your body, how you feel in this moment, again, without judgment. Is there anywhere that you're tense? Anywhere that you're really relaxed? I invite you through this entire practice to just really become aware of your body. It's okay, you have permission in this practice to just look at yourself. Accept yourself and love yourself in this moment that you have, this time. And whatever you bring, because whatever you bring is exactly what it should be. And let's take one more inhale to bring us back to our bodies. Inhale, fill up. And last time, open your mouth, exhale, and just let it go. And whenever you're ready, just slowly open your eyes, maybe halfway. Just come back to the room. Come back to your mat. And since we've had our knees bent for a while, you can reach down and help them to lift up. And then we're going to stretch them out to the side in a dragonfly type pose. Just not too far, really just spread them as wide as feels very comfortable. And to warm our bodies up, we're going to just take a couple of stretches here, side stretches. And So again, stay up on your towel. If at any point in the next few poses your lower back gets really uncomfortable, then I invite you, the answer to that would be probably to place another support underneath you, just to lift you a little bit higher. So stay on that comfort tool that you have there, and just let your legs relax. You don't have to hold your feet in any way, just let them relax. And sit tall in your sit bones. And then as we inhale, lift your arms up. And then on your exhale, bring your left hand down to your hip onto the mat and just let it rest. And then your next inhale, reach up through the fingers of your right hand. And then on your exhale, melt your side body over to the left. And while you do this, really focus on keeping your right hip grounded. Try not to let your right hip lift. We want both hips equally on the earth. And just allowing our upper body here. Imagine reaching your ear towards the earth. And then you can melt your elbow. We really don't want to hold anything in yin. We want to just let our muscles take a back seat. So let your arm just rest and bend, and let your hand just stay behind your head for just a moment. We're going to be here for about a minute. And just feel the stretch along your right side body. Don't force anything again, just let gravity pull you towards the earth. In yin, we really try not to use our muscles, and the objective of that is to reach the connective tissue. One more breath here. And then you inhale, lift your arms, slowly lift your spine back up. Inhale, lengthen upward. And then exhale, allow your right hand this time to come down to the earth beside you. Root down into both hips here, into your mat. And then on your next exhale, allow your right ear to melt towards the earth to the right. And then allow your hand just to rest behind your head. Again, we just want to tell our muscles that we can relax and just be in this pose. You'll feel a release here along your left side body. Just warming up here slowly. Like I said, we really focus on connective tissue here in yin. The connective tissue includes the fascia that wraps around our muscles and marbles through our muscles. And it includes our tendons and our ligaments. And the only way to really give the connective tissue attention is to allow our muscles to understand that they can let go, that they don't have to hold us. There's so much benefit in reaching the connective tissue. It releases a lot of energy, releases a lot of blood flow into places that we can benefit. And on your next inhale, slowly lift yourself back up. Bring both hands high. Take one more inhale, root down into your sit bones and reach through the crown of your head, elongate through your spine. And then exhale, release your hands back down. Dragonfly fold. will be what we do next. So we keep our legs in this dragonfly shape. One of the ways you can help this pose is to, again, keep something underneath your sit bones. And if you think it might be more comfortable to bend your knees here, especially if you have strong hamstrings, you might feel a lot of tension in this pose in your hamstrings, and sometimes bending your legs can help with that. And so that is where, again, towels or blankets rolled up and placed underneath your knees just adds that little bit of comfort here. Also, another option for props in this pose is to place a couple of pillows or rolled up blankets or whatever you have. You don't have to have anything in front of you. You can just fold forward, but the pillows really add that little bit of comfort. So we're going to fold forward here. Again, as we do this pose, these are all suggestions, so please take what feels good to you and leave the rest. We'll start just by sitting again into our sit bones, lengthening our spine upward. I invite you again to close your eyes. And on your next exhale, keep the length in your spine for just a moment as you fold and hinge your heart forward. And when you reach that point of tension in your spine or in your hamstrings, then begin to just melt everything forward. Melt your arms, release your head towards your props or towards the earth. And just relax yourself forward. We'll be here for about 4 minutes. So please make any adjustments that feel good to you. If your lower back again is hurting, again, the option for that is to put more padding underneath your sit bones. And if your hamstrings are tight, bending your knees a little bit more might help. But when you find that edge, just be at that edge. You don't have to force this pose at all. In Yin, we hold our poses generally from about 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes more. And again, the purpose of that is to try to communicate to our body that we don't have to hold or clench or use our muscles. That we're just going to be in this shape and let the earth take hold of us and use gravity to just slowly massage and stretch our bodies. Another benefit of Yin is we have these moments of stillness. And in that stillness, we get to be present with ourselves. So as we continue through our practice, I invite you to use your breath with every inhale to bring fullness and openness to your mind. And with every exhale, release anything that doesn't serve you in this moment. And just soften your body with your breath. And soften your mind. Three more breaths here. And on your next inhale, slowly press into your palms, press the earth away from you, and gently walk your hands back towards your hips. Slowly lengthen your spine upward. You can reach down here again and gently reach behind your knees to help your legs lift. We've had our legs stretched and our hips open for quite a while, and just slowly walk your feet in front of you and bend your knees. Since we have done a lot of stretching in our lower back and our hamstrings, it feels really good after that pose to do a couple of seated cat-cows. I'll turn sideways so you can see what this looks like. So keep your knees bent and bring your hands to the front of your shins, and then spread your feet about hip distance apart. And on your next inhale, draw your heart space through the gates of your shoulders forward, through your knees. And then exhale and draw your belly button towards your spine. Reach your back towards the wall behind you. And then inhale, your next inhale, draw your heart space forward. Lengthen your spine. This will release your back. And then exhale, cat your back towards the back of the room. And drop your head forward, release your neck. We'll do one more just like that. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Melt your shoulders away from your ears here, lengthen through the crown of your head. And exhale, draw your belly button backwards, let your head soften forward. And then come back up to a seat. I invite you to swing your legs off to one side and come up to a tabletop position. We're going to take tadpole. Tadpole is very much like child's pose, if you know that pose. But I invite you to place a blanket or a towel across your mat, long ways. We will be spreading our knees a little bit wider than the mat, so this is a nice way to just cushion your knees. And then just place your knees on your blanket or your towel. And have your pillows nearby. These will be a great option for this pose. So from tabletop, draw your toes to touch and allow your knees to spread wide on your mat. And then begin to let your hips melt towards your heels. And then in that same motion, slowly walk your palms forward as your forehead begins to melt closer to the floor. Here is an option if you feel like that's too much strain on your lower back. You always can place some pillows in front of you so that you can walk yourself forward and just melt onto the pillows forward. Another option for making your knees feel better, if this is difficult on your knees or you have knee issues, you can roll up another blanket or a towel and put it in the crook of your knees to just give you a little more support in your knees. And we'll be here for just about 3 minutes. I'll let you know when we're halfway, so that if you have your head turned to one side, you can turn it the other way. And when you settle into this pose, again, I invite you to let your body settle, let your mind settle by finding your breath and bringing your attention back again and again and again to your breath. We're about halfway, so if you have your face turned perhaps to one side instead of centered, then I invite you to switch to the other side. And I'll let you know when we're about to be finished with this pose. And notice with your breath, how as you inhale, your ribs open and reach closer to the earth. And as you exhale, your chest and your heart space reach closer to the earth there. Three more breaths here. And slowly begin to lift your hips away from your heels. Begin to walk your palms back underneath your shoulders. Come back to tabletop. Stay in tabletop for just a moment, and let's do a set of cows and cats here. So for cow, drop your belly button towards the earth. Lift your hips towards the sky. Lift the crown of your head upward. And then exhale, draw your belly button towards your spine. Melt your head forward. Lift your spine towards the sky. Do one more just like that. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. And then come back to a neutral spine. Let's take a moment to just straighten one leg and keep your toes on the mat behind you or the floor behind you, and really send your heel behind you. This releases your knee. We've spent a lot of time flexing and working with our knees. And then bring your knee back down and take the other side. Reach your right leg long or whichever other leg you need to, and send your heel to the wall behind you. And then take whatever other movements here. Come back to tabletop, whatever you need in this moment. And then make your own journey here to a seat again on your mat or the floor. For this next pose, this is a lot of people's, one of their favorite poses in Yin. It's very relaxing. So I'll get you set up. If you have props, you want to have perhaps a couple of blankets or towels rolled up. And then if you have pillows, you don't need pillows, but you can just lie back on the floor or the mat. But if you have pillows, this is a great option to place a couple of pillows behind you to give yourself a lift of your upper back. And draw those pillows or that support towards you. And then take your rolled up blankets, and we're going to butterfly our legs. So draw the soles of your feet to touch and let your knees just melt out to the side. You're going to really feel this in your inner leg. And so we want our bodies, we'll be in this pose for about 4 or 5 minutes, probably about 5 minutes. So we want to not have our body feel like it needs to hold this pose in our legs. Our thigh bones, our femurs, are one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest bone in our body. So as gravity pulls and we relax into this pose, we don't want our inner thighs to have to work. We want them to relax. And so placing rolled up blankets or towels underneath your knees allows your knees to just relax in this pose. Again, not necessary, but if you would like, it just adds that little bit of comfort. So this is chest expansion or heart expansion with butterfly legs. So sit tall in your seat. I like to start this pose with my wings spread. I like to tee my arms. And then on your next exhale, just allow yourself to melt backwards onto the floor, onto your pillows. Allow your legs to relax. If this is not comfortable in this butterfly position, you can always just straighten your legs if that is more comfortable. You're always getting a big chest expansion on this pose either way. You can tee your arms out to the side. If you want more of a chest or heart opener, you can even bring your hands up above your head and then reach your arms and let them relax above your head. Or if you would like less of a chest expansion, you can just reach your hands down to your sides, closer to your hips. It's your choice. It's your practice. Take what calls to you today. And then I invite you again to just remember to keep your eyes hooded or closed. Become curious about how your body feels now in this moment, in this pose. Is there anywhere that you are holding tension? And anywhere that you have tightness or tension, simply send your breath to that space in your body. Our breath has a healing energy. It's amazing when we are tense that if we don't fight that tension, if we just breathe into it, if we just accept it, it will slowly release. So with every exhale, can you soften? Can you let go of anything that doesn't serve you in this moment? You don't need for anything. You're just being with yourself, lying back on the floor. Again, thoughts may try to filter in. Maybe thoughts from earlier today. Maybe thoughts of what you need to do after this. But let those just float away from you on your exhales. You don't need those thoughts here. You can come back to those when we're all finished. In this pose, we are opening the connective tissue across our heart space. Our heart is one of our chakras, a place of energy within our body. Can you find your heartbeat? Can you find that place of vibration? And enjoy 3 more soft breaths here. Let's take a deep breath together just to bring us back to our bodies here. So exhale all of your air out. Then inhale, fill up through your nose, fill up all the way, let your chest rise and expand. And then open your mouth and let it all go. Slowly come back to your body. Maybe blink your eyes open only halfway. Reach down with your hands to the outside of your thighs and help your legs come back up. Bend your knees and place the soles of your feet on the mat. Then bring your hands to your hips or a little up above your hips to press into the earth or onto your elbows to just help you lift up away from the earth. can keep your eyes hooded here. We don't need to be too alert, but just reach behind you and remove any support behind your back that you may have placed there. If you have a pillow, a small pillow or a towel, you can certainly make yourself a pillow here behind you. We'll be taking our rest of our poses on our back. And so again, making yourself comfortable here. If you want, keep your pillows nearby. We might need those here in a minute. But we're going to take banana pose. So slowly melt yourself onto your mat or your floor. And straighten your legs, spread them wide on your floor or your mat. And reach your hands above your head, make a V shape above your head, and just relax into the mat for a minute. Feel how good it feels just to lie here. Feel the mat underneath you, the earth supporting you, like it does all day long. And just be thankful for that in this moment. Be thankful that we have this beautiful earth that takes such good care of us throughout our day. And then for our first banana side, keep your right foot where it is on the mat and lift your left leg and bring it across your mat to just cross your left ankle over your right foot. So our legs are off to the right side of our mat with just our ankles crossed with the left ankle on top. And then take your right hand and gently take a hold of your left wrist. Keep your shoulders and your hips on the mat and just gently slide and melt your torso over to the right. And so we're making a crescent shape all down the left side of our left side body. So you will likely feel this stretch if you keep bringing yourself to the right. Again, keep your shoulders on the mat and your hips on the mat, flat. And you can feel this in your tricep, perhaps in your shoulder blade, your ribs, all the way down your hip, your outer left leg, all the way down to your toes. Just a simple pose. We'll only be here for about a half a minute more. About one more breath here before we move. And then slowly unwind, spread your arms wide again. Bring both legs wide on your mat or the floor. And we'll take the other side. This time, keep your left leg far on the left side of your mat or past the edge of your mat. And then bring your right foot across to cross your left ankle, your right foot over your left. And with your left hand, take a hold of your right wrist this time and gently melt yourself over to the left. Making that banana shape here to the left. Feeling that stretch all along the right side body. This is such a simple pose. And yet we are actually activating much of the connective tissue along our entire right side body. then try to keep your shoulders and your hips on your mat. About 3 more breaths here. And then come back to center. Spread your legs wide again before we bend both our knees, and then draw both of your knees towards your heart space for a wind releasing pose. You can take a hold of your shins here, rock side to side. Just massage your lower back here if that feels good to you. And then we'll take a supine twist. Straighten your right leg and keep your left leg bent. And for a second, just draw your knee towards your heart space again. Draw it around your left rib cage. Just to give it a gentle stretch. This feels really good. Usually it can feel good on your hamstrings. It can feel good on this right upper thigh. Again, you're stretching your lower back. And then take, if you would like, you don't have to, but you can place a pillow or a blanket to the right of your mat. And with your right hand, take a hold of your left knee and slowly melt your left knee across your body towards the right. So we're twisting our left knee across our body. You can lift up even. I like to rock my right hip underneath my left here. It just helps with the twist. You can allow your knee or your shin to rest on a support if that feels good. You don't have to. And then allow your left shoulder to melt back towards your mat. We're really getting a good twist here from the belly button upward. We'll be here for just a couple of minutes. If your left shoulder doesn't reach all the way back to the earth, that's okay. You can certainly, instead of holding it, place a blanket or a pillow underneath your left shoulder. Again, we just in Yin really want to make ourselves comfortable so we can just let go of holding these poses. We want to just melt and relax and just be in these poses. Allow gravity, allow our breath to just massage and help with the release, help with the twist. If this twist is a little much, you can always bring your right leg, you can bend your right knee, the bottom knee, and bring it a little closer to your left knee, your left foot. You can just bring both knees to the right if that feels better. And just soften your body here. Soften the wrinkles in your forehead here. Soften your breath. And just take 3 more breaths here. On your next inhale, unwind your left knee back across your body, come back to center. Take another little moment here to bend both knees. Maybe it feels good to rock side to side. And then we'll take the other side. This time, keep a hold of your right shin or behind your right thigh if that feels better, and just straighten your left leg long. You can move your pillow or your support or your blanket off to the left side of your mat now. And take a moment here first to just draw this half wind releasing pose. Draw your knee around the right side of your rib cage, under your arm. And just become curious about this sensation. Where do you feel this stretch? And on your next exhale, take your left hand with your right knee. Again, you can press up and bring your left hip underneath you. Bring it under your right hip. It helps with a twist. And then allow your right knee to just melt across your body towards the left. And as you situate it, you can place it on any support that feels comfortable or nothing. And work towards bringing your right shoulder now back to the mat. Again, if your right shoulder doesn't make it to the earth, you always can put some blanket or towel or support underneath your right shoulder to bring the earth closer to you. And try to find those deep inhales. With your exhales, can you just soften? Can you release your hip? Release your shoulder and your neck. Can you release your lower back? Can you release your thoughts? And just be. It's okay to just be with yourself in this moment. Let's take 3 breaths here before we move. Next, gentle inhale. You can reach over and slowly help your right knee come back across your body, come back to center. Take one final wind releasing pose to draw your knees to your heart. Take whatever movements calls to you here. For our final pose of Shavasana, begin to slowly straighten your legs long on your mats and spread them wide, whatever width feels comfortable to you. Let your feet just fall out however they feel comfortable. And let your arms rest at your side for just a moment. Perhaps lift your shoulders off the earth and draw them down towards your hips and then place them back on your mats. You can stay here, or I invite you to take some personal affirmations with me and place one of your hands on your heart and your other hand on your belly. And I invite you to say these affirmations to yourself, either out loud or even just in your mind. But speak these words to yourself. I am more than flesh and bone. I am light and spirit. I am love. I am important. I am worthy. I am enough. Feel free to keep your hands here or stretch your arms now alongside of you, palm upward. I will lead you into a restful meditation here of peaceful presence with yourself. And I will tell you when to come out, so you can just relax and let me keep track of the time. Relax your knees, relax your hips. Just melt your spine into the earth. Let the earth hold you. Soften your shoulders and your fingers. Relax your jaw. Separate your teeth. And allow your tongue to just fall into the cradle of your jaw. And let your eyes melt into their sockets. Let them release. Soften your forehead. Soften your scalp. And soften your mind and your thoughts. Shavasana. You are enough. You always have been enough. You always will be enough. You you are perfect exactly as you are. Begin to bring more texture to your breath. Bring your thoughts and your mind back to your body on your mat, on the floor. Let that breath travel down your arms and your legs. Bring life to your fingers and your toes. Maybe tap each fingertip with your thumb. Wiggle your toes a little. Just begin to awaken into your body. You can start to maybe rotate your hands and your wrists. Maybe start to lift and bend your arms at your elbows. If you'd like, you can reach high above your head and take a good afternoon stretch if that feels good in your body. And then begin to bend your knees. And then onto your favorite side, roll over into a fetal pose. You can rest your head on your biceps. Bend your knees close into your heart. We move from Shavasana, which is corpse pose, into a fetal pose, the pose of rebirth. The first yoga pose we ever took. The pose that always reminds me that in every moment we have the opportunity to start again. We don't have to always live the same old story. We have so many opportunities to write a new story in every moment. Begin to slowly press into your upper arm's palm into the earth, to just gently, with as little motion and little effort as possible, lift yourself back up to a gentle seat. Keep your eyes halfway closed or closed if you feel called to. Come back to a seat. I invite you to bring your palms together in a prayer mudra. It's a mudra that honors this space that we have shared together. And I invite you to raise your thumbs to your third eye center, to your forehead, with prayers that our thoughts will be kind to ourselves. And then you can melt your thumbs to your lips with prayers that our words will be kind to those who hear. And then melt them to our heart space, that beautiful place of energy within us, with prayers that all of the actions of our lives will always love, honor, and respect all of creation. Thank you so very much for sharing your energy with me and your time with me. And thank you for giving yourself this gift. Om Shanti Ananda. I pray that God blesses you with much peace and much, much happiness. You can bring our thumbs back to our third eye center. You can bow forward if you would like to honor our practice together. Namaste. Thank you so very much, all of you. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. I pray that it blessed you like it blessed me. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. Please leave comments. Let me know what you thought. Give me feedback. What could be better? What did you like? If you'd like me to do more of these, please let me know. I just would love to know if you would like more or if you enjoyed this one at all. Thank you so much. God bless you all and have a beautiful afternoon.